Welcome back to Painting and Decorating. In this video it's all about water stains, water damage. What I'm about to show you has been a leak caused off a gutter over time, and it's just been absorbing up just near a skirting board. The paper has been stripped off in the past because it was all rotting and mould on it. It was all cleaned off. The paste was cleaned off. Diluted PVA was put on the burr plaster, and then it was painted, and was probably a stain slightly come back through, and there was a water stain block put on. Now the leak has got worse over time and the damp has still come through, so it's got really bad, but the leak has been fixed now, so it's dried out, so we're going to go and fix it. So let's have a quick look. There you go. Not nice. And you can usually tell when it's drying out because you can feel it's a lot drier, and it starts flaking. But that PVA really has done well because it's kept the paint on. Some of the things you'll need for this job, starting at the beginning, some newspaper to put down on the floor, so when you scrape off all the loose, you can just wrap that up and then chuck it in your bin bag. A couple of scrapers to do the scraping off. Obviously got my dust brush. And then once I've scraped it off, I'm going to give it a sand over. And this is some worn P180. P80. Then once I've sanded it off, give it a dust, and then some bin primer, which will seal the area as well as killing the stain. And obviously I've got some methylated spirits and my brushes for the bin primer. So once you've done that, then you allow that to dry, and then you do any filling. And the filler I'm using is Polyfiller Easy Sand Interior Filler. It's good stuff, that is. Remains workable for up to 90 minutes, low shrinkage. Right, and then once I've given it a coat of, once I've done the filling, allow that to dry, a light sand, and then you can give it another coat of bin primer to seal the filler, then a coat of emulsion, and then you can give it, check it over for the filling and mix a hard stop filler, put some of that on, and then your final coat of emulsion, which I'll show you that process now. Just coming back to this for a minute. Sometimes if it's a progressive leak, if the water is still there, there is things you can do, but at the end of the day, that water, it's got to come out somewhere. So if you try and block it up there, it'll come out on the other side, or so you've got to try and fix the leak full stop. There is stuff like this. This is Damp Seal, and this is a Ronseal one. There's loads of different types, and let's just have a look at there. It says permanently blocks damp, right? But then it says there, can you see that? Lets trapped moisture escape. Well, I mean, damp, stain, is it stopping the stain? It's not stopping the water because it's letting the moisture escape. So I'm not sure with that. Yeah. Anyway, back to what we were doing. Newspaper down first. First of all, give the area a scrape over. Light dust off. And then a sand over with your P180. I keep saying P180. Your P80. I don't know. Those will give all the edges a sand. Always make sure you're wearing a dust mask. Okay, we're ready for the bin primer there now. Using this bin primer, I use a pure bristle brush. And I actually keep it in a container full of methylated spirits. So first of all, do the cutting in. I'm going to try and be quick with this stuff because it does dry really quick. I'm going to do the top of that skirting board there, and on the side there, and here comes the cat. And then what I usually do, I use a mini roller. Come on. I use the mini roller. So when I come to putting my emulsion on the wall, I've actually got the same texture. Because if you use a brush all over, what you tend to find is when you come to put your emulsion on, it shows up. Now make sure you spread this out really nicely. And lay it off evenly, because your actual foundation is the main thing. Now I'll just touch the skirting board there. The last thing you want on the skirting board is the texture of the roller. So just rub that out. Okay, allow that to dry now. Bin primer is dry now. We're ready for the filler. So I'll just give you a quick close look at the state of it. You can see what we're filling. Okay, so let's go and mix the filler. Make sure your filling blade's nice and clean. Be careful you don't cut yourself. Very sharp they are. Right, bit of polyfiller in the centre. too much like usual, but there you go. Just add a little bit of water at a time, don't need to flood it. That way you get it to its right consistency. That's not too bad for your first fill. Right then. I usually use my heart. More than enough filler there. The trick with this filling is not to make loads of work for yourself. So the last thing you want to be doing is going and putting big lumps of filler all over holes. You've got to make sure you smooth it all off, because when you're actually doing filling, you never fill the hole on the first fill. It always needs going over again. So the first fill has got to be very smooth, so you're not doing loads of sanding down. Not too bad that. And then allow that to dry. Filler is dry now, so I'm actually going to give it a sand over this time with a bit of P180. Roll that up. Give it a sand over. On the edges as well. And then you can give it a dust off. Check it over, make sure everything's okay before you start the next stage. That's now ready for another coat of bin primer. Always make sure your bin primer is stirred up really well so you get the correct properties of it. Again, do your cutting in first. Do the top of that skirting again. And then finish off with your mini roller. If you was just going to brush the area, you use your brush to finish it off. But because I'm actually rolling this wall, I'm going to use the roller to give it the same texture like I was saying before. Okay. Let that dry, a light sand over, and then it's ready for a coat of your emulsion. In primer's dry, ready for a light sand with a P180. Quick dust off. And then we're ready for a coat of Pure Brilliant White vinyl matte. First of all, cut it in. No point in flooding it all over the skirting board. But you do need to go over that edge a little bit. Then using your mini roller, so allow that to dry, and then we're ready for a hard stop filler, which is polyfiller mixed with a bit of your paint. The hard stop filler, mix a small amount of filler with some water, but not too much. Leave enough so you can add some paint. And add the paint to the filler and mix it up. And what you're after is making a nice creamy consistency. Right, so I'll mix this up now. And you're ready for your final fill with the hard stop. Again, don't try and build it up too much. The trick is with this is just to finally go over any areas. That's not too bad. I'll let that dry and give it a light sand. Filler's dry now, so another light sand over. And then dust it off. All ready for the final coats of emulsion. finish off. Allow that to dry. You can have a look. All finished. It's a lot better. A lot better.